Good afternoon, everybody. How is all my wonderful subscribers and viewers out there doing today? I hope everybody is having a wonderful day. It's Nikki D, and welcome back to the Nikki D channel. Today, we're going to be doing the 2025 WWE Raw Recap episode 10, and this week's episode was live from Brussels, Belgium, as we was reminded many times throughout the evening. What was your favorite moment of Monday Night Raw? Let me know down in the comments section below. You want to say hi? You want to talk about wrestling? Just post a comment down in the comment section below, and I read and reply to every positive message I see. Don't forget to like the video, share the video all over social media, and smash that subscribe button so you could be notified of all my future videos. With that being said, I hope everybody continues to have an amazing day, and without further ado, let's get to this week's episode of Monday Night Raw. Was live from Brussels, Belgium, as we was reminded many times throughout the evening, and we kicked things off with a vignette package of everything that went down with The Rock, John Cena, and Cody Rhodes at the Elimination Chamber. Before John Cena kicked things off on Monday Night Raw, and immediately the crowd went into a huge boo as John Cena showed no emotion, walked down to the ring, started to talk to the WWE Universe, put the mic down, pretended to walk away, went and grabbed the mic again just to put it down and pretend to walk away and grab it a third time. But when he finally talked into the mic, John Cena spoke his truth, and he did not lie at all in this huge 20-minute promo. He trashed the WWE Universe, calling them abusive, saying that no matter what John Cena did and how many times John Cena won, it was never enough for the WWE Universe. He called the relationship with the WWE Universe toxic, and he went on to berate the WWE Universe for about 20 minutes of sheer brilliance, before he was interrupted by Cody Rhodes, who came down to the ring and went face to face with John Cena, and said he hopes that the old version of John Cena shows up at WrestleMania 41, because all he's looking at is a whiny little. And that's how we wrapped up that segment between Cody Rhodes and John Cena. Even when John Cena went to leave the ring and walk away, the WWE Universe sang "Na Na Na Na" goodbye to John Cena. And then we quickly went into our first match of the evening, which was Ludwig Kaiser versus Penta in a no-holds-barred match. And this match started out with a slugfest between these two men, but where Penta got control, it did spill out of the ring, and when it did, Ludwig Kaiser quickly got control of the match, throwing Penta over the barricade, but then Penta would rise up, run along the barricade, and hit a hurricanrana on Ludwig Kaiser, but Ludwig Kaiser would grab a steel chair to try to do some damage on Penta, but that had no success, as Penta ended up sending Ludwig Kaiser out of the ring, followed it up with a suicide dive as Penta started to rip up the announce table. Then these two men got on top of the announce table, and it was a slugfest on top of the announce table before Ludwig Kaiser went dirty and got a thumb to the eye, got Penta on his shoulders, and hit a Death Valley driver onto the announce table as we went to the commercial break. And when we returned from the commercial break, Ludwig Kaiser was in control, but Penta quickly stopped that with a crossbody followed by a backstabber or a 1-2 kick out. Then Ludwig Kaiser was able to hit a Pele kick and a second Death Valley driver for a 1-2 kick out. As the match spilled out of the ring, Ludwig Kaiser bounced Penta off of the steel steps, and then Ludwig Kaiser tried to run all the way across the ring area to take out Penta, but it did not work. Penta hit a backdrop on the announce table, put Ludwig Kaiser in the ring, and these two had a slap fest as they rose to their feet. Penta then took control, but Ludwig Kaiser, the wherewithal to stay in the match, was able to hit a beautiful shot to the back of the head for a 1-2 kick out. And then Ludwig Kaiser started to taunt Penta, saying Penta will fear him. And then Ludwig Kaiser hit the chair right to the back of the head. And Ludwig Kaiser attempted to choke out Penta with the chair in the corner, but Penta was able to power up out of that. And Penta was able to reverse Ludwig's finisher into the sacrifice. Penta got his eye rocked, but still kicked Ludwig Kaiser. And then he hit Ludwig Kaiser with the steel chair, followed it up with a beautiful destroyer onto the steel chair. And then he hit his Penta driver onto set steel chair. 1, 2, 3. Penta defeated Ludwig Kaiser via pinfall. And right after the match, Penta sat down with Kathy Kelly for an interview, and Kathy Kelly asked Penta what is next, and Penta said the Intercontinental Championship. And then we got a Judgment Day promo, and Dominic offered an idea to have Penta join the Judgment Day, but Finn Balor wasn't having it. Finn Balor was like, Penta's going after the exact title that I'm trying to go after. He ended up calling Dominic Mysterio a snake, and that's how we wrapped up hour 1 of Monday Night Raw. This week's episode of Monday Night Raw was live from Brussels, Belgium, as we was reminded many times throughout the evening, and we kicked hour 2 off with a one-on-one match between Dakota Kai and Ivy Nile. And Dakota Kai came out the boxes in this match swinging, but Ivy was able to weather the early storm and hit a clothesline on Dakota Kai, and then Ivy Nile started to ground and pound on Dakota. She was even able to hit a German suplex for a 1-2 kick out, and then Dakota Kai reversed a suplex from Ivy Nile into a roll-up for a 1-2 kick out, and then Dakota started to get things going. She was able to hit the big boot. Ivy got sent to the outside of the ring, which is where we saw Chad Gable interfere. Ivy was able to hit a DDT off of the distraction for a 1-2 kick out. And then the LWO showed up, started to brawl with the Creed brothers and Chad Gable, as all 5 men ended up getting sent out of the building, brawling with each other, and which left Dakota Kai and Ivy Nile in the ring by themselves. And Dakota Kai was able to capitalize with a big boot to Ivy Nile. She hit the go to sleep. 1, 2, 3. Dakota Kai defeated Ivy Nile via pinfall on Monday Night Raw. And then we had the contract signing between Io Sky and Bianca Belair. Io Sky arrived for the contract signing, but right before we went to commercial break. And when we returned from commercial break, Bianca Belair and Io Sky were both already in the ring. And Bianca Belair arrived for the contract signing, and Io Sky was the one that had the mic first. She said no one will disrespect her again. Bianca Belair says, "I have nothing but respect for you." But Bianca Belair did say that she will be the next Women's World Champion at WrestleMania 41 as she signed the contract. Io Sky said, "Okay, game on." Io Sky signed the contract. And then, right after Io Sky signed the contract, Rhea Ripley's music hit. Rhea Ripley came out. She was not playing around. She was wondering why she wasn't put in this match for WrestleMania 41. She ended up hitting a headbutt on Bianca Belair, who fell on the table. Ended up hitting a power bomb to Io Sky on Bianca Belair, leaving both WrestleMania opponents stacked. And Rhea Ripley grabbed the contract. She signed said contract, even though she's not designed to be in this match. And she ended up leaving with the contract to close out the segment. Then we had a Jey Uso promo backstage as he was getting ready for his match. Ended up running into Gunther, brawling with Gunther, where Adam Pearce came in and said, "Not now." And then Jey Uso went to the ring, and we had a yeet party all over Brussels. Before we had Jey Uso going one-on-one with Austin Theory, and this match had to be the shortest match we have had on a Raw on Netflix thus far. This match started out with Grayson Waller distracting Jey Uso and Austin Theory getting control. But then Jey Uso just quickly turned it around, hit a crossbody 1, 2, 3, and just like that, it was over. Jey Uso defeated Austin Theory. And then Jey Uso was taken out. Austin Theory and Grayson Waller ended up hitting a suicide dive. Gunther attempted to put Jey Uso asleep again, but Jey Uso was ready for it this time. Ended up brawling with Gunther and was able to take the title off of Gunther. Held the World Heavyweight Championship in the air as he posed with it before ended up giving it back to Gunther and saying this is going to be your fate at WrestleMania 41. And then we went backstage again with Rhea Ripley and Adam Pearce, and Adam Pearce was spot on for a general manager. He said Rhea Ripley was acting like a child, which she is, and she will not be added to the WrestleMania 41 match between Io Sky and Bianca Belair. Before Bianca Belair attempted to jump Rhea Ripley, Io Sky must have felt left out because she jumped in this brawl as well. Rhea Ripley ended up standing tall, taking out both Bianca Belair and Io Sky backstage, as well as we went into our next match of the evening as the Creed brothers were in a tag team match against Dragon Lee and Rey Mysterio of the LWO. And Julius Creed dominated this match early, but Dragon Lee was able to weather the early storm and get control as he hit a suicide dive. But then Julius was able to take over this match as he hit his unnecessary clothesline as we went to the commercial break. When we returned from the commercial break, both men were down. Brutus was able to tag in Julius, and Dragon Lee was able to tag in Rey Mysterio, and Rey Mysterio took control, hit a DDT on the Creed brothers. Rey was able to reverse the double team from the Creed brothers into a DDT. Dragon Lee then hit a beautiful Hurricanrana on Brutus. Rey Mysterio went to the top rope. He was able to hit a Hurricanrana. He was able to hit his 619, followed it up with a springboard splash, and 1, 2, 3. The LWO defeated the Creed brothers via pinfall as the Masked Man returned, started to lay out the LWO. Hit a German suplex followed by a diving headbutt, but security came down and chased the Masked Man out of the building, and that's how we wrapped up hour 2 of Monday Night Raw. This week's episode of Monday Night Raw was live from Brussels, Belgium, as we was reminded many times throughout the evening, and we kicked hour 3 off with a recap from everything that happened in the steel cage last week with Roman Reigns, CM Punk, and Seth Rollins. Before Seth Rollins came to the ring, for a promo, and everybody in Brussels was singing Seth Rollins' song for quite a few minutes before Seth Rollins started his promo. But when he did, he ended up calling CM Punk the luckiest loser in the entire planet. And he said even though Roman Reigns has his wise man, he still has to rely on the architect to clean up his messes. He said that in Italy, Roman Reigns and CM Punk will be in the same building for SmackDown. So he said he might as well show up on SmackDown too and join the party. Which is how Seth Rollins' promo went. After that, we had an interview with AJ Styles, sitting down with Kathy Kelly. AJ Styles was about to go into detail about how he really feels about Logan Paul, but Karrion Kross interrupted the interview and saying, well, maybe you're the issue, AJ Styles. And AJ obviously didn't take to that too well. And then we went into our main event of the evening for the Intercontinental Championship. The champion, Braun Breaker, was taking on the challenger, Finn Balor, and this match did have a slow start. It had a feeling out process to it between these two men. But Braun Breaker was able to get control after he was able to hit a shoulder tackle on Finn Balor. Finn Balor, though, was able to reverse Braun Breaker and get back in control. Finn was able to hit a side headlock takedown for a 1-2 kickout. Then Finn threw Braun Breaker out of the ring, which angered Braun Breaker as he hit a shoulder tackles in the corner. Braun Breaker then sent Finn Balor out of the ring, but Finn Balor reversed Braun Breaker sprinting at him outside of the ring with a sling blade as we went to the commercial break. When we returned from the commercial break, Finn Balor was in control, but not for long because Braun Breaker was fighting back. Finn Balor, though, was able to reverse Braun Breaker to be able to hit a side Russian leg sweep for a 1-2 kickout. And then Finn Balor slapped the Braun Breaker, but all that did was anger Braun Breaker with each slap and each punch that Finn Balor tried to hit. And Braun Breaker fired back. And as he hit a flying elbow, and then Braun Breaker power slammed to Finn Balor, and that's where Dominic Mysterio and Carlito arrived, causing a distraction which allowed Finn Balor to roll up Braun Breaker 1-2 kickout. And then Braun Breaker attempted a power slam. Finn Balor countered it with an elbow for a 1-2 kickout. And then Finn Balor was able to keep control for a little while before Braun Breaker started to get his mojo back, was able to speed things up with a clothesline to Finn Balor, and then Braun Breaker hit a crossbody onto Finn into the announce table, and both men were down behind the announce table. Luckily, the referee wasn't interested in counting these men out, but Braun Breaker was able to get control of Finn Balor and get him in the ring. But once he did, Finn Balor was able to counter Braun Breaker into a sling blade again, and then he was able to hit the kick into the corner, which let Braun Breaker lay down. Finn Balor went to the top rope, but ended up missing coup de grace. Braun Breaker sprung up, attempted a spear, missed the spear. Finn Balor rolled up Braun Breaker for a 1-2 kick out. And then moments later, Braun Breaker tried to roll up Finn Balor for a 1-2 kick out. And Braun Breaker at this point called a shot, did not deliver it successfully. Finn Balor was able to reverse with a Pele kick. Finn Balor went to the top rope, but Braun Breaker met him there. And then Carlito set up a distraction with the referee. Dominic then threw Braun Breaker off the top rope, and Finn Balor got hung up, which is when Braun Breaker hit a Frankensteiner, followed by a spear. 1, 2, 3. Braun Breaker was able to defeat Finn Balor to retain the Intercontinental Championship. But after the match, Carlito and Dominic Mysterio attempted to jump Braun Breaker until Penta came out and made the save. And through all the commotion, Penta ended up holding the Intercontinental Championship, and Braun Breaker did not like that. Braun Breaker and Penta went face to face. Penta did end up giving the Intercontinental Championship back to Braun Breaker, but Braun Breaker and Penta going face to face is how we ended this week's episode of Monday Night Raw. And that was the 2025 WWE Raw Recap Episode 10, which was live from Brussels, Belgium, as we was reminded many times throughout the evening. What was your favorite moment of Monday Night Raw? Let me know down in the comment section below. You want to say hi? You want to talk about wrestling? Just post a comment down in the comment section below, and I read and reply to every positive message I see. And don't forget to like the video, share the video all over social media, and you made it all the way to the end of this video, go smash that subscribe button so you can be notified of when I drop my next video. And if you want to see some more of me, Nicky D, then go check out another one of my videos, because I got hours of content that'll keep you entertained well into the evening. With that being said, I hope everybody has a wonderful evening. I'm Nicky D, this is the Nicky D channel, and I will see all of y'all beautiful people next time. Bye, y'all!